Am I supposed to push a button? That is worth talking about.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Go check that out.
So stop it.
Yeah, stop it.
And reassert the importance of children's ministry and proper doctrinal teaching.
I don't think you even use a King James Bible.
Rain on my pages, Lord.
Maybe I'll write a book and grow a beard, and I'll get some skinny jeans.
I think I could handle everything except for the skinny jeans.
Me, I'm the pastor. Knock, knock. Hello, your pastor.
Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of The Brook.
Don't be stupid.
Good evening, and welcome to episode 8 of season 6 of The Brook on Canaan Radio. We're glad that you are joining us tonight on YouTube. We're excited to be back. Pastor,
Hello.
Brother Peter,
Hello.
Brother JT Crawford up in the booth,
Hello.
and his two cronies behind him, Victor and Damien. We are glad to be here. This is not the final episode of season 6. We are doing a bonus episode, not next week, but the week after that. So stay tuned for that. But this is the last regular episode, I guess you could say. Don't forget, we do love hearing from you. I don't know about love hearing from you, but we don't mind. We don't mind hearing from you during the show. A great way to be in touch with us through each episode is you can jump on the live stream here on YouTube and chat with us. You can send us a song request through that, or you can follow us on social media. You can even message us at 920-940-8275, and there's a good chance that we'll get that.
It's exciting.
Yep.
I got a haircut today. Now I feel like I'm going bald.
Very nice. Looks beautiful. Wow. No, don't do
No.
that.
They take a lot off the top or something?
Well, the whole week at camp.
Took a lot out
Last
of
few
the top.
weeks, I got a lot of sunburn there. And so now that I have less hair, I have, who knows what's going on.
You
Or
look
vitamin
beautiful.
D.
I look terrible. It's like, I didn't even ride my motorcycle here. That's really bad.
Wait.
If you can hear
There
the...
we go.
Wow, beautiful.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. What's going on here? It's hard because you can't.
Oh, my. Somebody decided to start mowing right outside our door, I feel like. It's probably across the street, but...
Look at that.
Beautiful. Now you
I look like David.
No, now you look like Kirsten.
David.
You look like a little... Wow, I like it. You look 20 years
like
younger.
that?
Wow.
You look like...
Literally looks like just where you at.
The resemblance is
I can't get
eerie.
in there.
There it is.
Look at that.
No,
Yep, right
not
there.
quite. Not quite.
I don't know.
You look like one of those old guys that's trying to be relevant. He's probably got skinny jeans on. You ever seen that meme of like, it's like 40-year-old men trying to wear skinny jeans and it's the dog, the little mutt with skinny jeans on? Nobody's seen that? All right, I'm going to find that and pull it up here.
You talking about
Okay.
J.C. Groves?
Brother Tyson always sends it to me.
I thought you were going to try to be nice this episode, Pastor.
Oh, is this a nice episode?
I mean,
Well,
My bad.
doesn't have to be.
My bad. We did a mini camp this week. Took our own school kids, all those kids that were in school last year, and went out to Camp Patmos Wednesday night after church, and just had a good time with them. Our workers came out, and that's terrible.
Okay, hold on.
Are you gonna put that on there?
I'm going to show it to you guys there. There you go. See if you guys can see it.
It's like it is wrong.
very wrong.
All right, sorry. Continue on with your book report.
Anyway, went out and had a good time. They had Walking with God booklets they had to do, and so the devotions in the morning. It was nice. Brother David and Miss Courtney did the first, I think, set of devotions, and then Brother Pete and then Hannah, I think, did the girls the second day. And then we finished off by going Chick-fil-A.
Amen. It's a good way to end it.
But what was a favorite part of camp for
A
you?
spicy Chick-fil-A sandwich. My favorite part of camp probably was watching Henry get launched in the air, but like 10 feet in the air, and totally flip around and land back on the tube on top of Victor.
Wow.
That was very entertaining to watch. And he didn't cry. He was like, yeah. It's good.
That kid. He's
Then
Is there
My
video
s-
of this? 'Cause
no,
that sounds awesome.
no, it was. We should have recorded. We need to put GoPros.
Yeah, I
out
told
there.
Mom
That'd
that.
be
I said
great.
we need to put GoPros on all the vehicles because
Yeah.
I can't expect Damien to be holding the camera and a flag.
Yeah,
It's too much for him.
yeah. We did hide and go seek in the dark with glow sticks. That was entertaining. We could never find Christy and Emily. They're very good at hiding, apparently, being creepers in the dark. And
their secret. They hid in the lodge.
yeah, right, yeah, in the cabin in their bed. Going on the tube was fun. I went on the tube with Damien, Victor, and Henry, and we got flown off that thing like, I don't know, 6-7 times. So I feel like I was thrown in a dryer, and a tumble dryer, but you know what? It's good. I'm clinging to my youth as long as possible. I was on the bus, and Harper was looking at me. I'm like, what? She's like, you got wrinkles. I said, yeah, from you. Thank you very much.
Oh. I'm in bad shape then.
You are a wrinkle.
I am a wrinkle.
I got wrinkles. You are a wrinkle.
That's exactly right. I guess just to say howdy to all the people that are out there. Let's let Pete do the shout-outs. Let's
Well-
make the program exciting.
All the way up at the top, we've got Christy Smith, got Brother Tripp, Mrs. Reeves.
Mrs. Tripp.
That's
I guess
Mrs.
it's Mrs. Tripp.
That's Mrs. Tripp. Laverne is Mrs. Tripp.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Well, Brother Tripp is on here too, isn't he?
No.
What? How is he missing? Mrs. Tripp, it's good to see you. Get your husband on here. Mrs. Reeves is here.
Normally it's her son.
that's his-
That's
that's
on
his mom.
anyways.
Brother Tut's mom.
Okay, well, everybody needs to put the normal handles with their actual
You do
name.
have to kind of guess at
Laverne
some
Tripp
point.
is her name.
Yeah, that's her full name. Yeah, she's even got a
I've
middle
never met
initial
her.
in there.
I've met Brother Tripp, so we're just going
I knew
with
this
that
was a
one.
good move. Go ahead.
There you
Keep
go.
going.
See, he's entertained, so this is how it's
Yeah.
going. All right, we got JT. Jules on here. Pastor Reeves. Emily Smith. Hope Reeves. Diana Smith. Hannah Shaw. Mrs. Greeley. And then David. And that's who we've got on here.
Mariah just
Did she?
commented too.
Ah, Mariah. Mrs. McCarroll is on here now. All right. Those are the shout outs for who is on the chat currently.
So I went by Brother Smith's house. He had an open house today, and I was going to go over to the open house and eat the free food. No, I was a little late. He was gone already.
When was it till?
I just think it was a couple hours, maybe. I don't know, but I texted him. I don't know, it was like 3 something, I think, when I texted him. He said it was just closing up and leaving. Anyway, then I went by his house to see him. He wasn't home. So I don't know what he's doing. He's out doing peddling drugs or something with Mrs. Smith. But anyway,
Wow.
so
Okay.
camp was great.
It's great.
It's great.
Speaking of the Smiths, if I can share a story of my daughter, who the Smiths watched today, she had breakfast just fine at our house. And then she got to the Smiths and snookered Mrs. Smith into giving her 2 more bananas and another pancake.
Oh my word.
And so she
2
was-
bananas.
2 more bananas.
That
yes.
little child.
Yes.
Did she do that in sign language, or did she actually speak and ask for those things?
You know, she probably held her at fist point. Like, give me more.
Fist point.
Fist point.
Wow, that's
Fist point.
I'm going over to the Smiths for breakfast. Bus meeting at the Smiths next week.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
bananas.
Brother Smith would be okay with that, probably, as long as everybody helped with his
Siding.
siding.
Yeah. Can you imagine how crooked that would be?
I'm sure it's probably pretty crooked since Damien's been over there helping him.
I see where Damien's been doing the work.
Yeah.
It's all the pink.
What?
It's all the pink.
Oh, the pink.
The pink is yours? That's the insulation. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we saw Danielle this afternoon when we were visiting because we have a stop right next door to the Smiths.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and she was standing outside.
Huh.
I say we. Courtney saw her, but
Did she say hi?
I think we waved. We, as in Courtney.
What were you doing?
I was driving. Safety first. Can't
there you
take
go.
two hands off the.
Safety first.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, did you enjoy not having to drive yesterday when we were dropping off the kids?
It was great. Pastor drove everybody. I almost hurled a few times.
I was going to say, where did my driving rank next to Brother Smith's?
Well,
Don't answer.
two different styles of driving. So.
Yeah. Mine is...
One feels like I'm on a racetrack
Yeah.
and a roller coaster at the same time. And one feels like a good old Sunday afternoon drive. Except you also feel like you're going to die once in a while because Brother Smith may or may not see a telephone pole.
So I don't think I drive any different than I did when I was in college, but that doesn't say much.
Yeah.
It is little Chicago after all.
Christy said, I have situational awareness. No, I don't have situational awareness. Apparently, she whistled at Courtney and I today because
Message
they were
retracted.
soul winning across the street from us. Well, not quite across the street, but
She retracted her message.
she probably realized she typed it wrong because she's old and can't see. Put your glasses on, Christy. Get your
She spends too much time at
extra
Five
large
Below.
printout.
I saw her the other day going into Five Below.
Really?
Yeah.
She's probably getting me snacks for tomorrow.
Well, we all know the real bus captain of 83 West is Christy Smith.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, it's been Hannah the last couple of weeks.
Has it?
Yeah, she's on a roll. She signed up like 7 kids, and over the last month and a half, and keeps winning people to Jesus. Like,
I never knew Hannah wore glasses.
huh?
I guess we don't either.
She was wearing glasses this morning in the kitchen. She was doing something in the kitchen, and she was wearing glasses. Black rim. I don't know. Maybe she was wearing his glasses.
Maybe she borrowed some?
I don't know. She was wearing
Guess
glasses.
I don't really know.
I think she might have readers because she's getting old or something.
Totally.
That's
Old.
true.
I don't know.
They're blue light glasses. What does that mean?
Blue light special. Kmart's closed. I don't know about that.
Jewel
one.
said, I think she uses them to read. They're
Hannah
readers.
can't
Hannah
read.
just got on here. Did she just get on here? I didn't think she was on here. That's why I was talking about her. Sorry, Hannah. Yeah, have you always worn them, Hannah?
For screens.
They're blue light glasses, so they're supposed to block the.
Blue light.
Blue light
light.
range.
Phones give off blue light.
There's a setting on your iPhone.
It's
you can
basically
just switch it so it
sunglasses for
doesn't give off blue
devices.
light. Is her eyes giving her? She's getting old. Apparently, there's a reason she must need that.
Blue light.
Or maybe that's her alternative just to shutting the phone off. Like, all right, my eyes hurting from looking at the phone too long. I'm just gonna get some glasses.
Apparently, it can interrupt your sleeping and stuff. I don't know.
So, getting ready in a short few weeks. What? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I didn't have anything to say.
Short few weeks to start our next construction project, right?
Oh,
Right, Brother Ward?
so much fun.
Start our office renovations.
It's gonna
We
be
do
a
have
lot
to
of-
go upstairs, though, first and figure out where we're putting Sunday school classes.
I think we got that figured out already.
Okay, but we have to build a wall.
We got to build a couple walls.
Okay.
A couple. I thought it was just one.
2.
2. Where's the second one go?
Well, there's the one that divides the big room.
Yes.
And then there's one that goes, I don't remember. The one that goes this way. Actually, I think
That
there's
one?
3 walls because we're making a whole nother classroom.
So basically,
Two
okay, I
more.
think, you know how my office is?
Yeah.
We're going to continue that wall down the side. That'll
Right.
be another classroom.
Yeah.
A small one.
Okay.
Yeah. And I thought there was
Wait, are you
across
talking about?
from your office.
You mean in front of the stairs? Mm-hmm. But then, how do we get to the
Hallway.
classroom? That's the conference room, and the classroom that's the
Hallway.
storage room. Oh, just make that a hallway.
I don't remember.
I thought it was just the one wall.
How
and
many
we needed
classrooms does that give us?
5.
Oh, is that how many we need?
Well,
That is what we currently
were you
use.
considering the?
That's probably.
But again,
you're
that
right.
is
Pete. You're
using
right.
utilizing
I was-
his room, his office
Yeah.
as one of those rooms.
You
So
were.
that might be what it
I thought you were going to keep that for you.
not the original plan.
I don't know what the original. I know what the extra
And if we
crispy
try to
is,
do
but
that, we ain't gonna have enough room in there.
And if we're getting rid of those stairs, we have to also
Put an
figure that
elevator in.
dynamic out.
well, I haven't decided on the stairs. To get rid of them or not to get rid of them, but I think we'd be better off to get rid of them, have more space. But then your entrance will be through the balcony or through the back. So there's still up and down.
The alternative I was thinking about, fireman pole.
Well, David,
you get up
David
the
wants that.
fireman.
Well, it's just to get down.
Okay.
We need an emergency exit.
So we get done. We did it. Now how do we get up? Oh, I didn't think about that.
Climb.
Yeah, climb. Yeah, that wouldn't be happening.
But do you know how many kids we could get to come because of a fireman pole?
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah,
Bunch of
they
second
never come
graders.
back. Yeah, good for JT's class. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's coming up. That's probably some prep work. September sometime, probably break into that. College starting on the 1st, 2nd September. School starting. 2nd.
After Labor Day.
Yeah. That's the 1st, right?
It starts, I believe, the 3rd,
3rd, right?
which is Wednesday. It's supposed to start, I believe, that Wednesday.
So we skip Tuesday. Okay.
But don't quote me. I haven't looked at the school calendar for a while, but I think that's what it says.
Yeah, we're going to have a meeting, college meeting for getting everything set up. And so do we have a new college student or not?
I don't know yet. Talk to him.
All right. Well, we'll see. Potential college student. So we'll see.
Right. Good. Yeah, we've been doing this for 8 episodes. We got nothing
Yeah.
left to say. All right.
And
Christmas is coming.
the Brook is
Yes, it
brought to you
is.
by Mike and Ike, Original Fruits. They're delicious.
Is that their? Do they have a tagline? Why is that?
Why is what?
Why is that the name?
This is Mike and Ike.
Fruity?
Why is it a
Fruit chewy?
Starburst?
Fruit chewy?
Fruit chew.
Fruit chew.
Fruit chew.
Fruit chewy?
Fruit chewy.
Fruit chewy.
Fortuitous.
I mean, think
Exploding
about
with
Skittles.
fruity, chewy
What does that
flavor.
mean?
I don't know.
You
but
have
it has a
cherry,
nicer name.
lime, strawberry, lime. What'd I say? Cherry, lemon, strawberry, lime, orange. And if you can guess this flavor, I'll give you the whole bag.
Which flavor?
The one I have in my hand right here. Can you guess it?
What are my options? I wasn't listening.
Cherry, lemon,
Cherry.
strawberry.
It's cherry.
Cherry? Well, it's that color, but I don't know if it's cherry. I think it's not. I think it's lemon. No.
Yeah, I gotta believe you. Yeah.
It's cherry.
Yay!
You win.
What are you going to do now?
There's this game that we play on our bus, and they do.
Don't
take
worry.
care.
We have hot tamales. Get fired up
Are you going to do the same thing
with
for that
fierce cinnamon flavor.
And our kids
flavor
love
is
the game. It's called Poison. It's called Poison. You guys play it on your.
Is this just Bean
yours?
Boozled?
I've been meaning to.
It's like we have a bag of Skittles on there, and they take a handful of Skittles out. Worker does, and they pick a couple that are poison secretly, like they show another worker.
They're poison?
They just pick 2 that are poison, and then you go around and all the kids get to pick one. And if they pick the one that they picked that was poison, then they die, which means they don't get candy again. But really, the kids like it just because they get to get Skittles. They think that we're dumb and that they really just like the game, but we know that they just want a Skittle, really.
You just randomly pick 2 colors.
Yeah.
Or-
So it's like this. Okay, pick one. Be careful, one of them's poison.
Okay. Wow, this is a very
You have
interesting
3
game.
options.
All right.
Death, you're dead. I'm just kidding. I made them all poison.
You've got issues.
Anyway, that's what we do on our bus to pass the time.
Not enough Jesus songs to go around.
Yeah.
I guess. Don't worry.
All I can hear is Pastor breathing.
I'm
That's
sorry.
all I can hear.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'll choose something. You can hear
I need to
that.
put pop screen on there.
Is that it? Do we want to move on to the next segment? Oh, my word. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Canaan Radio, and hit the notification bell so that when we go live, you will be notified. We'll be back after this break. Sponsor, Impact Your Works by Gospel Light. I think it's supposed to be World. We'll be back.
My bad. Welcome back. Normally it doesn't come to me, but today
Surprise.
Special.
He just found out 10 seconds ago.
I did. It was like
Everybody just simultaneously.
everyone's
dropped
like,
their
"No,
phones.
I don't want to do it." JT, you're doing it. This was your idea, anyways. No, so we had the whole season planned out, and we realized that we were a week off, and we were trying to figure out what we were going to come up with, and I came up with the idea of going over ministries that we don't have and whether we don't have them because it's just not a good fit for our ministry because we don't have the workers or whatever the case might be. And so we kind of came up with a list of different ministries that
We didn't. You did.
Yeah,
I came up
contributed
with a
something,
list
didn't
of ministries.
Did you help?
I said parachurch.
He did
And
say
live-
parachurch and the live
live
stream. I added the live stream after he said something about that Wednesday night. But otherwise, it was, wait, David, hang on. Go ahead, do that again.
What if?
No one can see it. There you go.
Anyways, so we have a whole list of different ministries that our church doesn't have. And who wants it?
I'll take it.
Okay.
Good job, JT.
Thank you.
One of the things I really learned about this. Just kidding.
So we named. He gave me the list, and I was trying to. He was asking me what we wanted to call this program, and I said, I don't know. I sent this back to him: Ministry Philosophy, Faith, Wisdom, and Counting the Cost. And so that's kind of what the program's about today. Jesus did not establish small groups as a separate model of growth. He established the local church, one body, meeting under biblical leadership, gathering regularly, preaching the word, practicing ordinances, and carrying out his mission. Small settings may have been used, but they were never separate from greater than or outside of the local church, the local structure. If a modern small group becomes a substitute for the church, it ceases to follow the pattern of Christ, no matter how spiritual it seems. A biblical ministry must do more than reach the lost. It must train them to live for Christ. Jesus didn't just command us to preach the gospel and baptize. He told us to teach believers to obey all his commandments. Winning souls is vital, but it's only the beginning. The church must help new believers grow in the word, walk in holiness, and serve faithfully. Shallow Christianity leads to weak lives, but strong teaching, real accountability, and spiritual growth produce good Christians who can reach and train others. Our goal isn't just decisions, it's lifelong obedience to Christ. At a risk of sounding pragmatic, I want to address the difference between faith, wisdom, and foolishness in ministry. Pragmatism, the idea that we should do something just because it works, is not a biblical philosophy. What is a biblical philosophy is counting the cost, and that's found in Luke 14:28. For which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it? Just because something can be done doesn't mean it should be done. And just because a ministry idea is good doesn't mean it's good God's timing for us. I believe if we can do it and do it right, then in God's time we will. And so just want to be very crystal clear. That's one of the things that has been always in the forefront of our ministry is I did not put all the weight on winning souls. I wanted us to be soul winners, but I also want us to be people that can reproduce ourselves.
We're going to go through and talk about it, several different ministries. I'll take the first one, Pete, and you can ask him the second one. I guess I know that in many churches across America, even in fundamental independent Baptist churches, there is something that's considered a sports ministry, usually connected to the Christian school that they have, where they'll have organized sports. Sometimes they'll just have it inside of the church itself, where they just compete amongst themselves, and then sometimes they will play. Oftentimes they will play in some sort of a organization or league amongst other like-minded, I say that loosely, like-minded churches. What is your opinion on that, and is there a time in the future that our church would have a sports ministry?
In my experience, organized sports has often done more harm than good when it comes to the church's job of building strong Christianity. Sports may draw crowds and even create moments of connection, but they rarely produce spiritual depth, discipleship, or long-term fruit. They tend to compete with rather than complement the mission of local church. And I coached a basketball team when I was an assistant pastor. It's one of the job descriptions that I had before I made this decision that I would never involve sports in my Christian school. And it was a colossal waste of time. Was it fun? Yeah, but there was nothing spiritual about it. And the people that came out for those games weren't dressed right, had terrible attitudes. Just wasn't a good environment. And then the people that wanted to play in sports, boy, they would show up, but you couldn't get them to ride a bus, couldn't get them to go soul winning. They always lacked in music standards and dress standards. So I don't know why sports became such a big staple in our Christian schools, because they don't do anything really to help it. So no, we're not going to have sports in any of our ministries.
Not that we don't throw the football or have basketball.
Organized sports. Organized sports.
Yeah.
We're not organized.
We'd also really stink, so.
Yeah. But that's different. We learn to have fun. We compete a little bit, it's learning to laugh at yourself's a good thing. If you're good at it, great. If you're not, great. But everybody should be soul winners. Everybody should ride bus routes. Everybody should read their Bible. Everybody should be kind one to another, And I find in our small school, when they do go out and play, there's a vast gamut of talent when it comes to education, but there's also that same gap when it comes to sports or coordination. And so it's a good chance for all of the kids to work to be kind to each other, help each other out, all for the goal of winning the prize. And I think it's proper and a good way of looking at sports, but it's very minimal, and I just don't believe in the organized part of it.
Right. And I think one of the arguments that is made for valuing organized sports inside of churches is the teamwork aspect of, that the kids get to learn how to work together in a group setting and how to get things accomplished. And there are a lot of principles like that that are good. But I do think that if you grow up in a proper family, all of those attributes and principles should be taught inside of the family. I don't think you have to have an organized sport, be a part of an organized sport to learn how to work together as a team or to throw a football.
That may be why they call it a ministry, because we don't have normal families anymore.
Right.
And so, and I understand that, acknowledge that. But I also know that if we're going to have that kind of sports, you either put that kind of a person in charge of it, who's not soul winner and doesn't go out, doesn't live right, or you put good people in charge of it and take their time away from them when they should be out. So there's no win on that.
Right.
I mean, I know the next generation is not going to believe what I just said, but they're going to have to experience it and see it. I've been in it. I've done it, and I just think it's why the next generation insists on reinventing the wheel. I have no idea.
Yeah, I know it's not successful just because if you look at the ratio of those who are involved, of the kids who are involved in sports in the churches versus those same kids being involved in a ministry at the church, like an actual caring about others, bus ministry. I mean, you fill in the blanks, going so many. It's very lopsided. Kids will jump into sports quickly, and it's sad because there should be, at the very least, I feel like churches should have some sort of a like, yeah, you're not playing sports unless you're a part of the bus ministry or something. But they don't, because it gets kids in their school.
Right. So. What do you think, JT? This is your subject matter.
Well, you mentioned something that should be taught in families, and I agree. As an only child, though, that was something that I didn't necessarily have siblings and that sort of thing. Also, I did grow up being part of organized sports and that sort of thing. And I will say from my experience, there's nothing that you can't teach in the school setting that isn't taught when you play the little games where you set up a team on this side and a team on that side. And there's, like you said, a vast difference in their coordination and speed and the different things. You can still teach those same values of teamwork and helping people without the organized, let's put a focus on football or basketball or soccer. You don't have to have that.
Do you think a large majority of the Christian schools that have sport programs, obviously they go and they get themselves mascots and uniforms and they go out, and then they go to, the goal is to go to championships or win, I don't know, whatever is available to win out there. You think that's more to further the advertisement of the church school?
Yeah, I do think that it's effectively them trying to say, we just because you're not going to the public school doesn't mean that we can't have fun. We can have all those same things too. And I mean, just what I said is not wrong in and of itself. You can still have fun going to a Christian school. But the problem is when it becomes a lot of those kids, they have that dream of going on and becoming a sports star. But what does that do for the cause of Christ?
Yeah, I think there's a philosophy difference there. Some people have an open enrollment philosophy that understands that most of these kids either won't come to church, their parents will just pay to put them in the school. And so they'll probably go on to secular colleges, continue with secular reasoning and things like that. And I feel like we have open enrollment. There's criteria on it. But we have a very strong push and expectation to be in church every time the door's open. Whether you're a bus rider or not, we're going to push on that. And when they get into school, there's a strong closing of the door of the secular world. We're not training you for that. We have no desire. We're training you to, first of all, to love the Lord thy God and to be a good Christian. And that's the whole emphasis of our Christian school. And so those that want to fall in love with the Lord, want to please him, the question isn't what sports programs can I get scholarships from in the college. And we're just not going to lean that way. And I don't feel like a ministry is doing something for God when you have state championships or Christian school championships, or, you know, a big turnout. And I don't think that measures anybody. Now, take basketball players and see every single one of them winning souls every week, and you know, gospel tracks and preacher boys first, and hey, that's a different program. But I don't see that. Just never have. And you know, I think if guys are going to say, "Well, that's my kids," so okay, let's see after a period of time where they lean, what direction they go. Because when you have sports, what follows sports? Music. Mm-hmm. Music, role models. I mean, name one good independent, fundamental, separated, soul winning, hellfire and damnation Baptist basketball player.
Doesn't exist.
I can think of football.
Name me a football.
Tim Tebow.
No, that never misses church on Sunday.
Right. Yes.
No, so if they're going to be a Christian and play that kind of game, they have to rationalize 10:25, Hebrews 10:25. They have to twist it. They have to water it down, and so much the less. They can't be a Sunday school teacher. They can't be faithful to church services.
Yeah.
They have to make up their own NFL church thing. You know, it's it's a circus. And so why we let that infiltrate our churches is simply, it's got to be for money. I can't see any other reason.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of times, you know, if the kid is good at it and they do start down that path, and God calls them to preach or to be a pastor's wife or whatever the case is, now they're left deciding, do I give up that career that I could make millions of dollars and follow God, or do I do the fun thing and make millions of dollars? Why are we giving them that?
Well,
why are we putting that in front of them?
Yeah, the stupid thing is I'll be honest with you, nobody in the Christian realm's got that kind of talent. Mm-hmm. I've never seen it. I'm not seeing Christian. I know of people that have tried to hold on to sports, got involved with church, and it was too hard to live for God, so they went back to sports, and they still didn't do anything with their life. Mm-hmm. Mrs. Reeves says here, grew up going to the Christian school with a large, successful sports program. Definitely didn't influence anyone spiritually, and was a huge amount of time, a waste of time, of the investment time. Popular
were those who are athletic, not spiritual.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So the praise was to the athletics. Mm-hmm. But anyway, and then I went with my wife to her school, what do you call that, reunion. It was crazy. We went to a restaurant to eat, and I think almost every one of them except for Jill and Missy, and me and Mark, everybody else ordered alcohol. It's like, I attribute a lot of that to the wrong emphasis in Christian education. And if guys want to just continue to justify their sports programs, it's going to continue to pull their product down.
I think you hit a good point, and it is a cultural or a philosophy problem in our thinking, and that is, we can serve the Lord, we can be Christian and spiritual and still bring a lot of the world's things that aren't necessarily quote unquote sinful and experience those. And I don't know that it's premeditated by principals or pastors or anything when it comes to...
It's not premeditated, but it should be premeditated.
Exactly. The other way around.
What we do as pastors has to be premeditated.
Right.
When we pastor by the seat of our britches, we're going to get a bunch of doo-doo. Mm-hmm. I said that on the radio.
There you go.
I just think I think they have this either a closed enrollment or even an open enrollment, and you've got folks that are coming with a worldly mindset, a mindset of, okay, I don't want my kids in public school. I want them in a private education. Christianity is great. It's good. I like the product. Let's put them in there. But do they also have sports? And those questions are asked. And so if you have that, then that's an extra draw to get those kids, which you could say, I'm trying to give them a Christian education.
I don't want my kids to miss out.
Right. And the thing is,
if you really go to the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
Right.
And exactly what you said, if you're really part of your church like you're supposed to, play basketball with the guys on break.
Yeah.
Go after church, after
Amen.
Sunday night church. Mm-hmm. Every church usually got a basketball court. Go out there, play basketball. But it's different than having a whole huge emphasis placed on it.
Teaching kids the importance of sports in a high school is why It's the same philosophy that passes on to why people will choose to go to Bible colleges that have more girls in it. Because you're teaching them to go after stuff, things, and not for godly influence, not for the right training, not for the right purpose, and then trust the Lord for the rest of it. I don't have much patience with guys who justify sports programs. They do what you want. I don't care. I'm not your pastor. I'm not the pastor of your church. But JT, the answer to your question is no sports.
All right, Pete, you're next.
All right. Going into our nursing home and food bank ministries. Of course, not nursing home. Food bank and homeless ministries was the next one.
Yeah, I'm not against the idea of food bank and homeless shelter. And I'd welcome that opportunity if the Lord provided the tools and the people, the team to do it right. However, these ministries are usually high investment and low return in terms of spiritual fruit. Now, keep in mind, that sounds pretty bad, almost sounds business-like. But you do have to understand there's an investment. When you're investing, being wise stewards, we're called to be wise stewards of what God gives us. So it's not outside the realm of understanding when you're responsible for the finances of a church. What ministry will I invest money in and time in and get a return? What is the return I'm looking for? I said at the beginning, I'm not looking for just souls. I'm looking for a ministry that will reach souls and train souls. So I want those two ministries to walk hand in hand. And that doesn't mean they're not worth doing, but they're best suited for churches with strong infrastructure, mature long-term workers, and the financial ability to absorb the cost without sacrificing other key ministries. So salvation is important, decisions are important, but long-term discipleship or training, I use discipleship very loosely. But that's like those people who in the homeless ministries and the food banks are coming to get from you food and things that they'll go over to Salvation Army. There's just no, they're not really looking for spiritual help. And so you can give them the truth of the gospel. Many times I'll tell people who call and say, I need some food, so I have to come to church. The whole idea is them coming to church, we can get the gospel to them. So that is, to me, a homeless and food ministry to some degree. What we can do, I'm not going to just go empty out a building, put hundreds of thousands of dollars in remodeling it, then go out and buy refrigerators and freezers and pack the things full of, and it would take all my workers, 3 months to do, 3 or 4 months to do all that. Then somebody has to run it. And the same result is what we're getting now. And that is, very few people come in because they have to hear the gospel or they have to come to church. And then after they do, they're not, I'm not saying you can't reach someone. I'm just saying you have to understand that there's some requirements that are needed in a church before you start something like that. So Is it good? It is. Is it God's will for us right now? No.
All right, moving along, we're going to talk about the nursing home ministry. In the past.
What?
That is something that we have been involved in to some extent, not necessarily currently in a scheduled way, but what is your thought on nursing home ministry?
Yeah, it's needed. It's a needed, I think, a fruitful ministry, needed ministry when we lead, when led by the right people. I believe we do have people in our church who are well suited for this ministry, but they're currently serving in other vital areas. Nursing home ministry is most effective when consistent, compassionate, and spiritually grounded people are involved. Until then, it remains on our heart, but not yet on our calendar. So I think not all of my bus captains and bus drivers obviously will be able to continue. Some health-wise may be able to continue for a long period of time. Others, their lives change, their bodies change, their health change, and they can move into a ministry where every week they're going to a nursing home and encouraging and giving the gospel, maybe singing to them And it's just not happening right now for us. And all our time and efforts are spent in more productive areas.
All right. The next one up on the list, we're hand motioning over here. Active duty military.
We're not having a sign language. Do you know why we won't have a sign language?
A radio
'Cause I
show,
don't read-
sign language?
No.
Radio show.
No, ministry, sign language.
We should do a radio.
It's because I can't read sign, and I feel real paranoid to be talking about me all the time.
They're exchanging recipes. They always have been.
Our next broadcast will be in Braille.
Our TV ministry for the blind.
Yeah.
Just like the sign language ministry on the radio. Okay. Sorry. Active duty military outreach. Be our next subject.
Well, I have only seen one ministry like that, and that was at First Baptist Church. And I think it's a noble mission. Our immediate area doesn't have a lot of active duty personnel. For now, it's not a pressing opportunity for us locally, though we are certainly supportive of those who are reaching military families elsewhere, but we don't have that here. There's just not enough of a demand. So I think all of these areas I say we don't have the workers doesn't mean we just ignore those people, but it does mean that encouragement to everybody as you're soul winning. Door-to-door soul winning covers almost every single area, every single one of these ministries.
All right. How about street?
Can I? Sorry, can I cut in? What if
He wants to dance. Cut in.
Victor? Yeah. Victor graduates from high school and he comes to you and he says,
Well, that's a miracle in itself.
It would be. But he comes to you and says, "Hey, Pastor, I wanna join the military and become a chaplain. I know of kids who have even graduated from college and gone and done that."
Yeah, he'd have to come to me and say, "I want to," and I would look at him and say, "Yes, I believe you do." But there's nowhere in Scripture that would support that, and here's why. At this point, military will not allow you to leave base Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night to go attend the right kind of church. They won't let you have that time to be a Sunday school teacher or a bus captain, let alone go door knocking. Doesn't mean you can't be a soul winner on base. It doesn't mean that you can't have a good testimony, but your Hebrews 10:25 is at jeopardy, and I don't recommend it. I don't recommend any young people that are saved on their way to heaven and serious about loving God and serving God to lay down their life on the altar of the country's patriotism, or your patriotism for the country, or for a GI Bill, when you go into a barracks that are cesspools and cussing, and you got no control over that. You know, don't ask, don't tell. You got all kinds of weird stuff going on as far as, politically. It's a mess. It's a mess. And I think the best way to help those people is that we, out of our churches, open up and go get them. It's like any other, go get them, load up a bus. If you have a church that size, run your bus there, pick them up for Sunday services, come back. Again, there's another case where you're servicing preaching, maybe souls getting saved, but it's hard to really train, doctrinally lay a foundation, and get people to become disciples, decide to become disciples. When they're strapped and committed to the government, to the country. We got enough people out there that says, I can't go to church because my boss says I have to work. It's like this concept. Jesus is the last one that's put first.
Yeah.
And I'm not for that philosophy. I looked up some verses, if you'll humor me here. Let me read these verses to you. It's kind of interesting. got to get back to it. Here we go.
I feel like I should clarify. Victor has not said anything about that. I was just using that as an example.
No, I knew that.
Okay.
Maybe people online didn't. Okay, so qualifications for being a disciple. Do we know what they are? Number one, Luke 14:26. Now listen to this verse. If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. So I guess before we enroll people in discipleship programs, we should ask them, do you hate your father, your mother? Are you going to put Jesus over them? You know, you got a wife here, but are you going to put Jesus over your wife? Are you going to put Jesus over your children? Are you going to put Jesus over your brethren? Are you going to put Jesus over your sisters? Are you going to put, what about your own life? You want to go into the military? What's Jesus want you to do? And so it sounds to me like, it's not, Jesus is not promoting hatred, but comparison. Our love for him must be so great that every other love looks small. If we're not willing to put him above family, friends, and even our own desires, we cannot be his disciples. True or false? True or false?
True.
Okay. Second, be willing to bear your cross. In verse 27, it says, and whosoever doth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. So there's a second time we see a qualification for being a disciple. The cross represents death to self, suffering, shame, and obedience. A true disciple is not in it for comfort. He's in it to follow Jesus, even when it's hard, costly, or unpopular. So there's a second one. Third, John chapter 8, verse 31. Then said Jesus to those Jews which believed on him, if ye continue in my word, then are you my disciples. So third one, you've got to continue in his word. Well, if you're going to discipleship classes, but you're not going to church on Wednesday night, are you continuing in his word? That's just basic. That's just basic. So we do an injustice by using discipleship classes to communicate to people that they're becoming disciples when they're not. You have to make that choice to be all in on that and continue in his word. Your plan has to be, I want to do everything Jesus tells me to do. John 13:35, by this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if you have love one for another, one to another. So loving other believers. It's not just loving the lost. It's loving other believers. You can't be a disciple and not love your brother. Number 5, be fruitful in service. John 15:8. Herein is my Father glorified, that you bear much fruit. So shall ye be my disciples. So if you're not a fruit bearer, how can you say you're a disciple? If you won't come to Saturday soul winning and learn the soul winning plan, if you won't go out soul winning with men in the church through the week and learn and memorize the soul winning plan, how are you ever going to win somebody to the Lord at a supermarket or in the park or any part of your ministry that you're in? You got to have that plan memorized. Well, I guess we should be understanding that if I'm going to be a disciple, my goal should be to win somebody. And then, I think there's an admonition in Luke 14:28. I think I read it already. For which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth not the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it. I think that there's a disciple sits down, he counts the cost, and then he follows through. He follows through. So I just, I was thinking about that, and this active duty military outreach, JT, in almost all these ministries, I will say the same thing. What is your goal, philosophy, when it comes to ministries in your church? Is it just to win the lost? Or is it to see them become well-balanced Christians across the board?
Amen.
Amen. All right, what about street preaching?
Street preaching! I've done it. I'm not against it, but I have rarely seen it practiced as an organized ministry with long-term fruit. It's often treated as a last-minute outreach rather than a focused part of the church life. While God can use it, I personally seen little measurable or lasting impact. That said, I'm not closed to it. If someone feels called and burdened, I go out and stand in the corner and preach to your heart's content. But I've never had anybody that's done that walk up their convert and say, this guy's been won to the Lord on the street underneath the ministry of street preaching, came to church, got baptized, joined the church, and is now doing the same thing. I've never seen it. It may happen. I don't know of anybody. Do you think of any names? Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not against it, but I'm not going to pour time and effort into it. And I went to Bible college, and a lot of guys said, they're street preachers and they think they're tough because they're street preachers. And I went to the bar and preached on top of a bar. Would you say? I said, why are you in a bar? Staying from all appearance of evil. It's just like dumb. Anyway.
All right, boys and girls homes.
Yes. Well, I'm familiar with starting a boys' home and having it. And it's high risk, high reward ministry. I've been involved through the years, and I'd do it again. But God would clearly have to provide the tools, the personnel, and the support structure. Without solid spiritual leadership, deep accountability, and long-term commitment, this ministry can quickly collapse under the weight of its own challenges. But with the right team, it can change lives forever. I will say this. I don't know of a local church doing it. It's usually some maverick who can't either pastor a church or go to the mission field and survive, who finds an ability to house lots of kids, but lacks an ability of raising their own kids. And it's a mess. It's a circus. And it's really just a money machine to most guys. So it's just, it's a needed ministry. I believe that, but not every church is fit for it. And a church has to have the size, structure, financial ability, and the right personnel. So I personally do not have a plan to ever get back in the boys' home or girls' home ministry. I would like to see. I don't know if here. But I would like to see somewhere in our movement an orphanage. I think that would be good.
Yes. What about satellite locations and church planting?
Well, let me ask JT, satellite locations. Are we talking about TV? Are we talking about church planting? What was your idea when you put satellite locations?
So when I put satellite locations, I more meant that like what the church that we bought the current building from, that like pumps in their pastor that's like in Kearney or something like that. That was more what I was thinking of, not
okay. I don't see that being something that we'd ever do. I believe a church needs to have its pastor. Mm-hmm. And so for the sake of just being able to claim attendances or control over property, it'd be wiser to find a man who wanted to pastor in that area and church plant, if you will.
Right. And
only do that until the church can financially support itself, and even maybe cut them loose before then, the structure being there. You give a man enough. You give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach him how to fish, and he'll eat for the rest of his life. And so I believe you teach him what to do, and then you cut them loose, and they either sink or swim. If they sink, it's probably because, if you trained them right. If they're sinking, it's not, God didn't call them. And they have to get to the point in their mind where they can deal with that and not feel like they're have to be embarrassed. Just own up. Hey, I went out and tried. I thought that's what God wanted me to do, and it's obviously not. But I'm going to find exactly what God wants me to do, and I'm going to be good at it. I'm going to be faithful at it. And so I don't think there's really any current need for a satellite location in our area. But church planting is something I would absolutely consider if the Lord opened that door. There are towns near us that desperately need good, solid Bible preaching churches And I'm praying for the right time, the right man, and the right situation to move forward in that area. Any questions?
I don't think so. I know that there are churches out there, not necessarily independent fundamental Baptist churches, that, they can't fit them all in one building. So rather than starting another ministry, they kind of hold on to it. And I think you hit the nail on the head in that that's not something that we would want to do. Starting another church, yes, but maintaining another property, maintaining control and tithes and stuff.
Yeah. Satellite churches is more of a non-denominational kind of thing, where church planning is a biblical IFB kind of a concept. So I would never hold on. Like we have this building here as a church auditorium, and maybe David got mad at me, and he said, I want to go over there and have a church, so we're going to have North Platte Baptist South. And whatever.
Second Baptist Church.
Yeah, whatever. And he built a church, and I would have to cut it completely loose. I couldn't just claim it. I just don't. I don't even see how that's biblical to do that. So no, I wouldn't do that. Number next.
All right, we've got printing ministries.
Yeah, I've seen these ministries up close, and I like them. I love what they can do, and I'd be excited if one day we could have a printing ministry here at our church. But we need to grow spiritually. Even though, I've been here 21 years, which is a long time, we need to go numerically and spiritually. And God's got to, again, send the right people for that kind of a job. So I say a job, ministry. It is very, very labor intensive and very, very time consuming, because you have multiple different aspects to that. And so knowledgeable man who has a spirit to follow and will follow leadership underneath the pastor is required. And a lot of times, again, when you have these sublet ministries, that are take one or two expertise people, you have very strong personalities and ideas, and they don't have that ability to. So you either as a pastor have to be able to train them, or you have to be a person who can just let go of something and not worry about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what about something that's called parachurch organizations?
Yeah, not right direction for us. We believe in the sufficiency of the local church, and that all ministry should flow through it, not around it. I will say that we utilize curriculum that comes out of parachurch organizations, as long as we do not have to stay associated with those groups or accountable to them. So I use ACE. I think ACE is a School of Tomorrow is a parachurch organization. And I know other places use other curriculum, but I use that because it's already done. And doctrinally I don't have much of a problem with it, and I can set something aside or change it if I want to, and how I train in my Christian school. I don't use Baptist. I don't even use the regular Baptist press Sunday school material. It's riddled with some really bad stuff, and I don't even know if they use King James anymore. So, but I believe local church needs to handle putting all that stuff together. Mm-hmm. But the places like Reformers Unanimous, I don't feel comfortable sending representatives and having them come and broker and start ministries inside of our church. If I ever have to go, and it's like people say, well, I want to come and start a bus ministry in your church. Well, that's the dumbest ministry in the world. It's just stupid. If you don't have somebody in your church that can start the bus ministry, what do you think this person that's going to come from outside is going to have a more burden and ability to train your little two people to run a bus route than you?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. And so I think whoever's coming into the church is just looking for a place to disappear and making up something that they have fun doing and going out. So I think parachurch organizations they don't have a part of our ministries, and we definitely aren't going to start one. I don't have any problem, if I know I support Brother Tyson, but that's more of a missions thing. And Brother Tyson, out of his church, runs a ministry that puts buses in the hands of other churches. So are there other churches that are involved with it? Yeah, but none of us men sit on any board. We don't tell Brother Tyson what to do. He runs his ministry, and that's the way it should be.
All right. In-home Bible studies, discipleship programs, college outreach.
They're valuable efforts, but they don't require separate titles or special leaders. In fact, when these kinds of ministries are separated from the church oversight, they often drift and begin to create parallel authorities, weakening the local church rather than strengthening it. Those should be done, but under the authority and direction of the church and not as side ministry. So, in short, let me just say it this way. In-home Bible studies, I preach every week, study your Bible. That's an in-home Bible study. I mean, I don't know how, if you have questions, come to your Sunday school teacher, come to your pastor. But if you think we're going to leave our regularly scheduled broadcast to come do a in-home Bible study for somebody who doesn't come to church every time the door's open, that's not going to happen. Even if you do, you'll find that the church it's adequate to meet your spiritual needs. I've never seen anybody come to my church Sunday morning, Sunday night, and Wednesday night. I've never seen it where they came up to me and said, I'm starving spiritually, give me more Bible. I have seen everybody, not everybody, but most people go, it's too much word, it's too much, you expect too much of me, I get to change too much. And so this philosophy of having in-home Bible studies and discipleship programs, they're all just, they're programs for people in the church who can't really do everything they're supposed to or won't do everything they're supposed to do as far as their own life to feel somewhat relieved in their conscience, they can feel good about themselves because they're doing such and such and such. College outreach ministries, we have a community college here, and but Dave and I have talked about that. We do need to have more soul winning in that area and reaching into that. And one day maybe the church will have maybe a Sunday school class for college career kind of thing, but it's going to be Sunday school based. Mm-hmm. It's going to be bus based. We'll go get them. We're not going there. Yeah. What is the point in spending thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of hours and dollars to go to a college, win a handful? I mean, I'm not saying they're not important, but win a handful, and maybe 2 people come to church, and I haven't seen anybody come out of that. Now, I've seen people operate those ministries because they want to feel better about the fact that they gave up their college years in a secular college. They went after sports. Guess what? Pros didn't want them. So their college sports days were over. Now what do? What would you get trained to do? Mm-hmm. Play football? Play basketball? Make baskets? I don't know. But now they realize, I got to do something with my life. So now I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm saying, come on, you'd be better off investing in the bus ministry.
Right.
Trying to be a deacon in your church. Try to support your pastor. Lift up the fallen hands of the man of God, and be an encouragement. Nothing more encourages me when people want to be involved with everything in our church. They don't want to miss anything. The kids want to be in the camp. They want to come to the 4th of July celebration. They want to be part of the soul winning. They want to come out and help at the work days. They want to work on the buses. They want everything. Everything that the church has. But the thing is people don't want what the church has. So they want to make up their own little things out there. College and career, let's have a Sunday school class. If you've got a burden for them, go get them, bring them in. We'll preach to them, we'll feed them, we'll do stuff like that. But outside of that, that's me.
All right. That's good. How about, this is our last one that we've got, live stream ministry.
Useful tool when used rightly, but a dangerous one when used poorly. It can be a blessing for the sick, the shut-in, for those in transition, but it's not a substitute for assembling with the body of Christ. Hebrews 10:25 is clear, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together. So we have to be careful we don't forsake that assembling. It's not wise to offer people easy excuses to skip church. The gathering of the saints is essential. And it's this idea that we can scream, I had an emergency. Okay. Unless you're sick in bed, you're not getting the link, You're mean. Okay, whatever. I'm just not willing to allow that to snowball into people staying home and always having an emergency. I know my daughter works with adoption or trying to foster care and getting children, taking care of children. And I've seen it where parents have to measure up. If they want their children back, they have to measure up to the required visits. And it's amazing. Out of 5 visits in a week, they do 1 because all of a sudden they're sick. They got to go to the dentist. They got to do this. What would you do with the kid in your life if he was in your life or she was in your life? What are you going to do with your child when you get sick or you got to go to the doctor? Are you going to just cancel the existence of your child? Are you going to find babysitters for every single time, or you take the child with you? It's just, it's insane. It's insanity. And so I think we can record messages for the use of our church people. We can have that system, live stream system going for when people are sick or in the hospital or, they can't move. They're stuck in their bed. Okay. I'm for that. But I'm not handing out live stream just so people can have excuses not to go to church. So let all things be done decently in order, the Bible says. I just think we should do things in order. I know, JT, you had some things you wanted to bring up extra.
The bonus one that I had mentioned.
I know David was dying to answer that one.
Would we ever send out, Damien is wanting to go out and become an evangelist. Would you support that? What would you say to that?
Well, the whole time he's here, he's being an evangelist.
Amen.
He's taking the gospel out and knocking on doors and winning people to Christ. If being an evangelist means you forsake your local church, forsake being a member, I don't believe in that kind of thing. I don't believe in personality overshadowing responsibility.
That's good.
And most evangelists believe they have a God-given personality and to be helped. Well, I want to help the pastor, I want to help the church. Then join a church, get underneath the umbrella of that church and encourage the pastor and do this great evangelism right where you're at. The Bible tells me that the pastor should do the work of an evangelist. So, and if you research the Bible, this modern day evangelist doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. Anywhere in the Bible, when we talk about evangelism, it points almost expressly to missions. Always, right. Mm-hmm. Always missions. And so this concept of men having such a big personality where they can blow in, blow up, and blow out is just a way for them to get away from responsibility, hard work. Anybody can go in and shoot their mouth off and get a paycheck for that. But that's not ministry. That is not ministry. I'll say it publicly. I'll say it to their faces. That is showboating. That is selling yourself out for a paycheck to the highest bidder. I will come say what you want me to say. And I don't have evangelists. I've learned my lesson a long time. I haven't seen any biblical ones. And I know evangelists listen to this will be mad at me, but read my lips. I don't care. I'm the pastor of this church. So that's my personal belief. So if Damien feels the call of God on his life to be an evangelist, I will tell him the same thing I tell anybody who says they're called. Chapter, verse, give me a biblical concept, teaching of that. How do I pass that on? How do I pass that on to the church that should lay hands on you and send you out? Because that's how it works. If you're going to be a missionary, you're sent out from a church, not from a board.
Right.
Every missionary that went out from a board and not from a church should come back home and join the church and then go back out the right way. That's my personal opinion. And so if you're going to go start a church, you're going to send out from this church. We're going to endorse you. We're going to stand behind you. We're going to financially communicate to you, which is support you, until God has used you to build a body that no longer needs us, and then we'll It won't be, I'm going to struggle and keep it because I feel like I own it. No, it's like as soon as that church is settled and reaches that mark of self-sufficiency, the pastor's going to get it, whether he wants it or not. It's all his. Boop, gone. And we have to be, that's true church planning. And I don't see evangelism. Who's evangelist in the Bible? Remind me again.
Philip.
Yeah. Let's talk about Philip. What big church meetings did he have? What big crusades did Philip preach? What church was he sent out of? It must be a different definition of the word evangelist, because
Right.
I just don't see it. So that was your bonus question that totally gets me blackballed from our movement. So.
Oh, that's what did it? Oh,
Well, it's one of the many that I'm willing to put. Look, I'm willing to put it on the air. I'm willing to put it, enshrine it, and put it on our YouTube. And I know it's not popular and people aren't going to like it, but I don't care.
Amen.
that's good.
And
That's why most evangelists have the stinky, raunchy music. Oh, I said it. Their wives. I'll just stop short. Their children. I'll just stop short. What exactly are they evangelizing? Did they come in a week ahead of time and go soul winning? Did they even put up one part of the tent? Drive one stake in the ground? I mean, seriously, what bus did they run? What neighborhood did they go out and get ready for that? What their evangelism? It makes me mad. Hey, pastor, can I come in and preach a revival for you? Okay, I need this amount of money. I need to be in this hotel, and I need a treadmill with a workout station, and make sure I have a car to get around with, and it's like. Okay, so what do you want me to do? Oh, you need to get the crowd together. So you want me to take my church and get my people all fired up to bring a bunch of people from our town into the room so you can preach to them? Yeah. Well, here's the deal. If I'm going to do all that, I'm going to preach to them.
right.
I'm going to have men in my church preach to them. But I'm not. It's just, what a loser invention of a title. And they have the audacity to say it's an office. They have an audacity to say it's a biblical office.
I think Paul said it best when he said,
What'd he say?
He said, "Yea, so have I strived to preach the gospel, not where Christ was named, lest I should build upon another man's foundation." So if you feel called to be an evangelist, go preach the gospel where Christ is not named.
Yeah.
And that's your calling. Now, figure out what that means, and you'll come to the definition of a missionary. So it's good.
That's my belief, and I know you guys are tainted with that now. I don't know if that's yours. I never sat down and talked to you about it. I'm pretty convinced that's his standing.
I
on
just
it.
believe whatever you tell me to believe.
Well, good. I got one convert. There's a Reevesite.
I graduated from that discipleship class, so
Yeah. Well, you got 2 college degrees, Pete. You got 2 college degrees. Brother JT's got 2 college degrees. Well, college degree and a half. Anyway, but there's a college student up here, and it just makes sense. It's just what I just said. All the Bible between us, I can't see the teaching of an evangelist the way we are promoting evangelism. And I challenge any preacher under that is hearing this or listening to it later, you just go ahead and send me biblical proof of what's going on today as being scriptural to be called an evangelist. I don't believe it's even possible to do it. I'll wait for your mail. I'll be probably another 50 years old before anything comes. But.
all right. Well, we'll come right back after this song, and we will have a few more questions for church chat segment, and then that will conclude that segment. Because the following week, well, I guess in 2 weeks or for our bonus episode, we might have some more questions that we'll answer. But we'll be right back. We're going to play "He Knows My Name" by Assurance Trio. Welcome to Church Chat. Oh, I messed it up. Let's talk about it. Welcome to the segment where we chat about questions concerning our church ministries and really anything. The first question for Pastor is, what would you consider a biblical evangelist?
Oh, very funny. Very funny.
No, I'm just kidding. All right. First question. We'll just ask two here. Why is the academy open enrollment and not closed?
I think I answered this already.
We probably talked about it during the academy.
It was closed enrollment, and then I opened it COVID for the opportunity of folks to utilize the Christian education as COVID was causing public schools people to realize they didn't want their kids in a public school. So I opened it. But like I said before, even with our open enrollment, the parameters that we have are 10 times stronger and stricter than the average Christian school. So it really weeds out people quickly.
Mm-hmm. So. All right. That's good. Next question is, why do we have the service times at the times that we have them?
Oh, that's more of a tradition than anything else. Some of it can be found in the blueprint of when Jesus met with the disciples after being seen, or after being coming forth from the grave, and it indicates times, mornings, evenings. So clearly, I think in God's infinite wisdom, He knew when those times of alertness were best, and so just patterning that after. I mean, that's loose. I wouldn't be opposed to somebody having church at 6 a.m. I just don't think that. I don't think it's going to be conducive to the environment and the culture that we live in today. And it's not that big of a deal scripturally where you say, I'm not compromising. Mm-hmm. So having a start time of 10 o'clock for Sunday school has just always been a national. Sunday school was, from the beginning of Sunday school times, usually would meet around that time. And to be honest with you, I don't know.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
There you go.
I just don't, I've moved Sunday night services from 7 to 6, and then Wednesday was stayed at 7. And I did that just simply to try to, because I know the preacher of our church is long-winded. And so going into Monday, trying to move that back, it hasn't helped much, but I tried. And then Wednesday night it stays at 7 because people are working jobs. Mm-hmm. So giving them that time to come in there. So I guess that's probably a better description of why we do that.
Can I piggyback off of that?
Yeah, man, piggy.
Would you, be opposed to, because I know that there have been churches recently that have done that, and I know of some churches in the Midwest that have their Sunday evening service, but it's at 2 o'clock in the afternoon or some kind of madness.
Usually churches that are doing that are getting rid of their Sunday schools, mm-hmm. and they're trying to condense everything of Sunday into a shorter 4-hour period with a little break in between maybe. Citing the easiness on the workers and family time and things like that. I'm not for that. It leads to apostasy, or probably apostasy beforehand for it to get there, because you have to get rid of Sunday school. And then your terminology is just not staying conducive with the Bible, and
yeah,
it's more modern and contemporary. Mm-hmm. So.
Can I piggyback off of his piggyback?
Pig.
No.
Oink, oink.
Get your own pig. No.
Get my own pig. How about changing times of services or days of services based off of national holidays? So if a holiday falls in an inconvenient time.
Sunday.
Yeah, if Christmas is Sunday, maybe have services on Saturday or...
I won't say that I've never moved a service. I think I probably have, but for the most part, I think we should just keep I think church should be preeminent. I think church should be the holiday. It should be the first holiday. And government used to recognize church, and everything was shut down. The whole country recognized church. Nobody missed church. If you missed church, you were the wino. You're the one that's getting tarred and feathered. You're the one that's, you're the outcast. Nowadays, if you're going to church on Sunday and won't take a job because you're going to be in church, you're the weirdo. Mm-hmm. And I think it's because everybody's given in to everything. And I think church needs to stand and take over their Sundays again and be so strong with it that they can get hair-lipped. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Amen. It's good.
You want to piggyback off the piggyback?
Off the piggyback.
Okay.
What do you feel about?
All right. That's it.
That's it?
That's all we got to say.
So,
We've run the
new
word.
ministries? I mean, did anybody have a coronary?
Oh, you know the one we did not even mention?
Yeah.
Airplanes.
Aviation.
Yeah, I have a dream
ministry.
someday of maybe having the ability to train guys, bush pilots. We have an airport here in town. There are stretches of land that can very easily be converted into an area. Again, money, time, and whoever does it will be more involved with the church ministry aspect than the flying the plane aspect.
Yep.
I know this. We have missionaries that we helped years ago to start to buy a plane, and it's just now getting finished. And so that is a high dollar, immense amount of time
If
and
you want anything
inspections.
reliable, it's just expensive these days.
And I know that I think First Baptist and House Anderson College at one time bought an experimental plane because you don't need a license for that.
Oh.
And they tried doing training. I'm not sure where that went. And God just hasn't raised up a man and brought him to me for that purpose. But again, if somebody were to do that, okay, so I don't know how to fly a plane, but if you knew how to fly a plane and you wanted to do it, you would have to have enough humility to say, teach me how to do it, how to have this ministry. Just like I'd have to go to you as the pastor and say, I'd have to have enough humility, tell me what to do on this plane.
Right.
Teach me how to do it.
Well, I mean, that whole ministry, though, honestly, is unnecessary when it comes to the United States for the most part. I mean, there's
That's why I said bush pilots.
bush pilots, right?
Yeah.
So people also need to understand this isn't a ministry that we need in North Platte. We're going to go fly and pick up some kids and bring them to church. It's like, no, yeah, drones are the...
No, I would say they're 100% right. We don't, but when I talk about that being something, it'd be nice someday to have the ability to train somebody, because we have a Bible college,
Right.
and right now we don't have necessarily a missions emphasis.
Correct.
So if someday the college developed a missions emphasis, okay, look, here's the honest fact. If your father would come off the mission field and was looking for a place to serve, I would try. I'm just saying, I would try to glean from him if he needed a place. What can I do to get you to come here and be involved with a missions push to bring more students here? So if that ever developed where we had the opportunity to train pilots in the missions part of it, same as, how many evangelists are we training?
Damien, apparently.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only one. But the thing is, our numbers are going to be far less. But if we ever had the chance to do it, so what do you do with a plane if you invest in that? Well, the preacher flies free.
It's good.
But there's that, and then I also have for missions, and also and retired preachers, not evangelists though. They're not allowed. I like to own some apartments or condos or something like that. Not I, but the church, and then care for them, upkeep them, the maintenance and the lawn, and then make them available. Very reduced amount of finances needed to stay there, and give those missionaries that come off the field and pastors who don't have anywhere to go a church that they can get involved with, based on their limited health or abilities. Right. Give them a place where they feel they belong without the pressure to be high productive. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Kind of like what we did.
Yeah, I was going to say, come here. Don't feel the pressure.
You do. You do understand.
Come here.
Many hands.
Early grave. We have a cemetery too.
Hey Pete, many hands make light work. So if we can have many hands,
It's like another meme that brings to my mind the picture of that old man. And it says, pastoring's great. Been 23 years old. Been pastoring for 2 years. He's like an old man. Feel the pressure. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of The Brook. We'll hope you'll join us again, not next week, but the week after that, for one last episode of season 6. Pastor.
See ya.
Brother Peter.
Goodbye.
JT.
So long.
And everyone in between, thank you for the great broadcast. You can find this show in podcast form in the future on our website and YouTube and on anywhere where a podcast is available. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you joined us today on YouTube, we'll end the show with I Don't Want to Go Back by Glory Bound Quartet. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Don't forget about us.
Am I supposed to push a button? That is worth talking about.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Go check that out.
So stop it.
Yeah, stop it.
And reassert the importance of children's ministry and proper doctrinal teaching.
I don't think you even use a King James Bible.
Rain on my pages, Lord.
Maybe I'll write a book and grow a beard, and I'll get some skinny jeans.
I think I could handle everything except for the skinny jeans.
Me, I'm the pastor. Knock, knock. Hello, your pastor.
Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of The Brook.
Don't be stupid.